Causes and effects of drug abuse. What is drug abuse? The topic chosen by the group was drug abuse, and the subtopic chosen was the causes and effects of drug abuse. The use of legal or illegal over-the-counter drugs for purposes other than those which they are meant to be used or in excessive amounts. Why did we decide to speak about this topic? Causes and effects of drug abuse. The causes and effects of drug abuse are never spoken about. You always just hear he or she is abusing drugs. Our group chose this topic to highlight the causes and effects of drug abuse. We would like to inform the young people in our society that drug abuse doesn't just happen and that there's causes and effects of it. What do we intend to learn about drug abuse?
We intend to learn about the countless health issues, both physically and mentally, that come with drug abuse, as well as the bad life habits that it has caused many people to practice on a daily basis throughout their entire lives, and how we can avoid this problem that plagues today's society.
Some issues with drug abuse.
Drug abuse. Drug abuse is something that's addictive. These substances have the capability to ruin lives no matter what your career is. This will affect you greatly. The hardest part of dealing with drug abuse is the addictiveness. It's often hard for people to get away from drugs since it's usually a way for people to cope with loss, mental disorders, or stress. The side effects of drug abuse are tardiness, hangovers, sleeping late, death, and many more.
2 pieces of material about drug abuse.
Poem on drug abuse. Nowadays, I walk in the mirror and see what drugs and potions have made me. My bones feel thicker than wood, my vision getting dizzier than it should. I can see my bones and veins through my skin, and yet I swallow all the death pills. I can see my heart beat through my chest. Oh, such pain, such craziness, such a mess. I can feel the terror coming closer. I can feel the shadow getting darker. And if anyone talks about illegal possession, I just bend the law and win in opposition. But this addiction has gone too far, damaging the lungs, the heart. Our death is ruled and overdosed, so our storybook is closed. With our legacy sad and undone, drugs lead to depression for everyone. Some small-time pleasure with our organs, daily problems, all due to drugs. Article on the causes of drug abuse. While specific incentives differ from person to person, generally speaking, people start using drugs to escape or mask pain. In some individuals, the onset of drug use can be from untreated psychiatric issues, including anxiety and depression. The rush of pleasure from using drugs can provide temporary solace from suffering, which can stem from many mental health or other issues, including the following: trauma or abuse, mental illness, low self-esteem, poverty, relationship problems, loss of a loved one, stress, chronic pain, or medical conditions. But whatever their reason for starting, once addiction sets in, the disease usually spirals more and more out of their control.
Effects of drug abuse. The sad truth is that more deaths, illnesses, and disabilities are caused by substance abuse than by any other preventable health conditions. Prolonged drug dependence interferes with just about every organ in the human body, and while different drugs have different damaging effects, these are some of the common conditions substance abuse can cause. Damaged immune system, which increases susceptibility to infection, cardiovascular conditions including heart attacks and collapsed veins, nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pain, liver overexertion or liver failure, seizures and strokes, widespread brain damage that can interfere with memory, attention, and decision making, as well as permanent brain damage. Some of the worst effects of substance abuse aren't even health. Drug abuse can have a number of damaging consequences on an addict's social and emotional well-being, including loss of employment, relationship loss, incarceration, financial trouble, homelessness, or risky sexual behavior. Many problems can be reversed or minimized by getting sober, but there may be some health and emotional issues that simply won't heal with time. The best way to prevent permanent damage is to seek professional treatment as soon as possible to overcome the addiction. Explaining how a language device or the elements in the corresponding material helped our group understand drug abuse. What we understood from the corresponding material is that drug abuse doesn't just happen, but that there is a chain of events that occur. Firstly, a cause. This may be any major physical or psychological inconvenience. The victim craves freedom, relief, and comfort. The drug they turn to may help assist them once. But if the inconvenience is consistent, the victim may turn back to the drug to feel a sense of comfort and an addiction stems. We also understood that the victim will be harmed and some type of trauma would be inflicted. The drug can scathe every organ in the body or interfere with the brain and make the victim hallucinate. Both of these are effects of drug abuse and both can be fatal. Reflection on teamwork. As group leader, I think the participants of the group worked well together. Everyone made sure we all approved of any changes they wanted to make. Although we had gathered all necessary information for global warming, I proposed we change the topic to drug abuse. I was very content with how my group dealt with it. Everyone agreed and assisted with finding a suitable subtopic, and everyone executed one or two questions. I also thought the PowerPoint was a bit overused, so I proposed yet another idea, and they were all open-minded towards it. They took time apart from the Eid al-Fitr preparations and celebrations to record voiceovers for the presentation. We all worked melodiously, and most of all, we learned about the causes and effects of drug abuse.